I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile.
Resistance is futile. From this time forward, you will service us.
Is AI copywriting software coming to steal your jobs and make your life miserable and take over the planet? I'll let you know today. I'm John Benson. My job is to make you unignorable, and this is Sales Copy Secrets. Welcome back to the truth about AI copywriting software and a warning. As usual, the videos are all about sales copy techniques, writing sales copy, improving your online sales, and making you a better person overall. Now, I want you to watch this video all the way to the end, and I'm going to give you two reasons to do that. Number one, it's a super cool thing to do if you want to help this channel grow. And number two, you want the good news, right? Because I'm going to start off with the really scary news. And I know that could be a little bit, especially in today's world where you get a lot of that anyway. But I'm going to deliver some really good stuff at the end. So stick around and watch this video to the end. And by the way, like, comment, subscribe, click that ring bell notification thingamajiggy down below so that you can be notified when new videos drop. And let's get into this. So where are we at with AI copywriting software? Well, here's a brief history of time, to quote Stephen Hawking, the late, great Stephen Hawking. Here we go. Believe it or not, as far as I know, yours truly got this ball rolling. Now, I'm sure there were AI developers before Accelerator came along. Accelerator was my very first copywriting software project and the very first software that actually wrote video sales letters. And we didn't use artificial intelligence in the way that you're thinking of AI, like, robots and scraping the web. And we're going to get into what AI does and how it does it here in a moment. But we started using algorithmic based software, meaning when you chose a piece of copy, it would intelligently select other pieces of copy to come after it, therefore giving you the tools that you need to create, in this case, a video sales letter. Now that was pretty cool. Originally, I just developed the software to help people go through the course. My original course was called 3X VSL. So 3 times your conversions is where we got that really stupid name, 3X VSL. And that became Accelerator, which became Now VSL. Now VSL is still around today. It's booming and kicking. Look at it, check it out below. You might want to pick that up if you're serious about writing VSLs, because it's still the absolute best, #1 in the world training for video sales letters, and certainly the premier video sales letter software in the world today. And it still doesn't use artificial intelligence. The scary sound here. It doesn't use that to create the copy. It uses a lot of human intelligence and smart algorithms. So from there, things naturally progressed. A tool called Presado came on the market next. Now, again, there may be other tools that I'm forgetting or just don't know about and not mentioning, but I'm going to give you the general timeline of artificial intelligence, okay? Just remember, I am not a robot, I'm not Mark Z, so I am not from another planet, nor am I an android, so I'm going to make a few mistakes. Now, this was, and it still is, artificial intelligence to the actual definition of that, meaning that it is using machine learning to improve upon the existing writing of an ad or a headline or an email. Now, Presado was limited at first. I don't know if Presado still is, but I'm pretty sure it still is limited to expressly written content, meaning that content has already been written by a human being and its job is to make it better. And when Presado first came out, it was super expensive. It was basically limited to banks and corporations with lots of money because it was requiring a team to come in there and learn all about their stuff and teach their machine all about their language and language patterns and all that. And it probably has changed over the years. But that was the next in line after Accelerator. And for a very limited scope, it did a really cool thing. It made existing ads, existing phone scripts, existing email campaigns, short copy, in other words, it made it better. And it was using interactive technology to do that. Small problem, you had to start with something. So that's been the problem that everyone's been trying to solve. So shortly after Presado, is really close to the same time frame, came a little software tool called CopyPro. You might have heard of it. And the devastatingly handsome guy that created it, of course. Yeah. And CopyPro to this very day uses a combination of artificial intelligence and human intelligence, along with some really cool fancy algorithms to allow copywriters and marketers and people who don't write copy to generate A-level copy, because we took templates from the best copywriters and marketers in the world. Over 50 guys submitted their stuff to CopyPro. Friends of mine in the marketing world, from Ryan Dice to Todd Brown to Andy Jenkins, to, I can go down the line of all the guys we have inside CopyPro, to myself, of course. And we took our winners, and then we were able to use machine learning to say, hey, how could we rewrite this for a dog trainer or for a chiropractor or for whatever industry we wanted at a touch of a button. So that's basically what CopyPro does. And CopyPro was actually designed from the ground up to be AI friendly. I'm going to get more into what AI friendly means. And we knew the technology wasn't quite there when we were creating it. So we were just biding our time until the technology caught up to our ideas, and it's getting there pretty quickly. So pretty cool stuff I'm going to tell you about here later on. But we are using some basic AI for rewriting purposes, meaning we can rewrite sentences using artificial intelligence, and we can use our own intelligence library to rewrite things on a click of a command very quickly. So the library right now has grown to probably over 1 million data points, with the AI over 1 billion data points. Now, in case you're wondering, is this going to put me out of a job? No. No. Could it right now? Meaning, as CopyPro as it's the iteration is right now, it could, if you just, there are people that just don't want to hire copywriters because they can get a lot of the copy they need inside CopyPro. However, I changed all that, and I'm going to tell you about that at the end of this video, so keep watching. Now, shortly after CopyPro came out, a lot of competitors started to crop up, and some of them, in fact, most of them are terrible. I'm just going to be honest with you. Some of them are okay, but most of them, there's a lot of scripts. If you look for things with the word script in it, you'll find it. Yeah, not so great, but shortly after that came the advent of what's called GPT-3. And a lot of software tools started growing based on that natural language learning processing tool thingamajiggy. Now, what GPT-3 is this auto-regressive language tool that basically mimics human language and can learn human language to a pretty realistic standard. And GPT-3 is really where the scary part begins for copywriters, because that can pretty much create things like an email or an email campaign if it's given the right parameters, a short one, or an ad for sure. A lot of these are used for ads, and it creates them fairly well and almost instantaneously with a few keywords. And that sounds pretty scary at first, right? Pretty scary. And it is, except when you dig a little bit deeper, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Tools like Jarvis came out, then Conversion AI and Copy AI and other tools like it, all leveraging various components of GPT-3 and other data learning platforms. However, some of this stuff is not just coming from its own native learning ability. Some of this stuff is being scraped from the web. And that's what a lot of people are the most impressed with. They go in and they type in a few keywords, and out comes, presto, an ad, or out comes, presto, an email. And it looks really magical. It really does. The problem is you don't know where those words came from, and you can't use those words again. Meaning, if you like those words, you can't say, oh, I want to keep using that in a sales letter, or I want to use that in a webinar. If you ask any of these tools to create a webinar for you, you're out of luck. I mean, you are completely out of luck. CopyPro can create a full webinar, which is pretty cool. Does take some human effort though. It's not a click of a button. It's not, 5 seconds worth of work. So there's some trade-off, just to be honest with you. But until AI catches up, and it's got a long ways to go, that's going to be the case for a long time to come. However, what I find these tools useful for is generating avatar understanding. So in other words, to know your avatar, to really deep dive into who your avatar is and the words that they're using to express what their pain points are, their desires and goals and so forth. And they're also pretty cool at writing short ads and short emails. One thing to be aware of though is they are scraping the web, at least some of them are. And if they do that, they could be scraping proprietary content, meaning you could get your ass sued. Don't want that to happen. Now, some of those tools get around this, and some of those tools probably have some safeguards for this. I'm just telling you that a lot of the tools that you see out there, and there are literally dozens of them right now, definitely don't get around that. I've spoken to the developers. I know how they work, and I can guarantee you this is a serious problem, and it's one that GPT-3 really isn't cut out to solve, at least in my opinion. And that's why CopyPro 2, the new version that's coming out, I'm going to talk about in a minute, is going to be using a different version of GPT called Neo. And it's a little bit better for what we're talking about, and certainly a lot better in how we're gathering our information. But I got to tell you, AI is capable right now of creating a John Clancy-like novel, for example. That was a very famous AI experiment where an artificial intelligence machine basically wrote an entire novel. And you're thinking, my God, if it can write a whole novel, it can certainly write sales copy, right? Not exactly, because sales copy is a completely different psychological and tactical form of writing that so far artificial intelligence is really struggling with. Now, the whole AI write a novel thing should terrify copywriters, right? But like I said, it's not perfect. And in fact, it's very flawed. And it's going to need human intelligence to perfect it over time. And this is where the good part kicks in. And before I tell you about the good part, and Copy Pro 2 is definitely part of that good part, let me just say this, my personal opinion on AI and any sort of technology. Technology as a whole has bettered humankind. Has it caused problems? Of course. Is there potential dangers? Of course. But as of today, thanks to technology, people are more well-fed. There is higher levels of education across the world. And if you look at every possible metric you can get your hands on, life as we understand it is improving. Now, that's not to say that there's not some definite drawbacks to technology and some of the ease of living that is coming with it. That's not what I'm saying. With technology advances, there's always been unemployment that comes along with it. For example, imagine being someone in the horse and buggy industry circa 1890, okay? So you're creating this and your family created, maybe your great-grandfather was in the job and you're creating horse and buggies, and next thing you know, you see this crazy thing called a car. I don't know if it was called the car back then or not, but coming down the country road streets, and I could see yourself saying this, what is that there horseless carriage thing going on? Well, guess what? Most people thought it was a fad. Most people thought it would never catch on. It will never replace the horse and buggy. And they're wrong. Really, really wrong. And many of you will probably know that computers, like the one that you are using right now to watch me wax philosophically about artificial intelligence, weren't always so small. In fact, some of the original computers were building-sized machines. I mean, like would fit in like rooms of a building, like massive, massive machines. And supercomputers still are to this very day, right? Eventually, that supercomputer that takes up like 4 floors of a building will be compressed into something the size of Data's head. That is just the nature of life. Life progresses. We progress with it. We get stuck answering philosophical questions like, should we do this? Well, I don't know if we should do this, but we are going to do it because, hey, we're freaking human. So the question becomes, how can we do it ethically and how can we do it in a way that benefits more people than it disemploys people? And that's where Copy Pro 2 comes in, at least for copywriters. Our new version of this is just weeks away from its internal beta, months away from its external beta, meaning you can get your hands on it. And it is essentially an ecosystem that employs copywriters and allows copywriters to resell their existing copywriting works and having our AI retool that copy for our customers in different niches and industries. It's really freaking cool. And with the advent of AI and what we're doing internally, we're able to get the customer set up very, very rapidly. So we're seeing some amazing progress in the legit AI field, meaning the ethical, human empowering AI field that, in our case, is going to actually help people in the copywriting industry make a lot more money by changing the way that you sell copy entirely. Basically, we've created the iStock photo for copy. And it's the only platform of its kind. So can't wait to reveal that to you. You will be first to see it here on Sales Copy Secrets. And I think when you do, you're gonna see, oh yeah, John's looking out for us. He's looking out for us. With the same time, I'm also looking at technology and going, hey, this is going to happen. So how can we do this and how can we blend the two together so that we live in a better world? Sound good? All right, this has been the truth about AI copywriting software and a warning. So now you know all about
The death of the modern world thanks to AI.
No, I'm kidding, chill out, I'm kidding. We'll probably survive. Probably. No, just kidding. And now you know how you can use artificial intelligence right now to help you do avatar research, maybe write a quick ad or two. You know some of the drawbacks of it, and you have something to look forward to, something to look forward to when it comes down to Copy Pro 2. Can't wait for that to roll out, neither can you. Now at the end of this video, you're gonna see a screen. You're gonna see a screen with a couple of videos and a circle head of me. You're gonna have to click that circle head if you're not subscribed because you're gonna wanna know what's coming up next. You're gonna wanna be notified for the next video. And here's what it's about. I'm gonna define copywriting from a point of view that you've probably never heard before. And once you find out what it really is, and most certainly what it is not, I think it will change the way you look at copywriting and marketing and even selling online forever. And if you haven't watched my previous videos, look below, do the right thing, click on a few of those links, check out the channel. I want to see you comment, I want to see you like, subscribe, and I want you to ring that bell for notifications when the new videos drop like a good little monkey, a copy monkey. And you know how much I love monkeys. So until that next video drops, I am John Benson, and I'm here to help make you unignorable.